Hey fam, and welcome back to Ask Marshawn. We are here today answering the question sent in by Sonia. Sonia wants to know, she already knows this is time to leave her relationship, but she's wondering, why is it so hard for her to leave? What is holding her back? And I have several reasons and things that could be going on. And let me know down in the comment section below if this is something that you have been struggling with. And if you did leave a relationship, what finally got you to up and leave? So here are some of my things, some of my ideas, some of my suggestions, and things that could be happening with you, Sonia, that is keeping you stuck in your relationship, even though you know, in your words, you know that it is time to go. The first thing is, you could be thinking about all of the time, the energy, and effort that you put into building this relationship, into cultivating a relationship. One, really, where you should have stopped cultivating it. You knew this, you should have stopped cultivating the relationship. Stop adding your time, stop putting your energy and effort into it. But because you invested so much time, you do not want to give up. Not because the relationship is healthy. You're just solely basing you not wanting to give up and walk away and literally take the next step of physically leaving the building because you put in so much time. The second reason could be the perceived benefits of staying. Now, the perceived benefits that I'm specifically mentioning is you're not going home to an empty apartment or home any longer, right? You have another traveling buddy. Spouse could be a good traveling buddy, not necessarily a good spouse. You wanted to keep the family stable, right? And keep the family together. So it may be thinking about the kids, the family aspect. There may even be, you want to break the generational curse in your family of divorce and being a divorcee and being a part of the statistics. So it could be a lot of those things, perceived benefits of actually staying. Forget the fact, again, that it's an unhealthy situation that you are in, and unhealthy because you already know it's time to go, right? The third thing that could be going on, it could be a cocktail, if you will, of things. Could be guilt, shame, or obligation. And what do I mean by that? You do not want to let your kids down. You do not want to let your partner down. You don't want to let yourself down. You may feel like a failure. Again, other people that are going to say something to you about it, they would rather that you stay. It could be your religious beliefs. So it's a whole cocktail of guilt, shame, and even obligation out of staying, instead of you thinking about your happiness and the things that you actually want to get out of this thing that we call life, and creating the life, creating the relationship that you want. Because here's the thing, you could have grown since you entered into this relationship or even entered into this marriage, and your spouse is not willing to grow or whatever, but we're specifically going to leave it on you. You have grown, and you notice that in your growth, you have outgrown your partner or your spouse. And so you two are going down two different paths. And so that shame, that guilt, that obligation is keeping you in a relationship that is no longer serving you. It's no longer really serving the family. And actually, research shows, yes, the family staying together is a great thing. However, research also shows that the kids, the family, the adults in the relationship do much better in their life once they leave, because kids can see and would rather their parents be healthy and happy apart than together. And I don't know the full details because it's escaping my mind, but the research study that I'm thinking about right now is where they followed several of the children that they were interviewing when their parents had been divorced. And they followed them, I think it was over a 20-year span, if I'm not mistaken. And they noticed that the children where the parents actually separated and got back to their healthy state, those children did better because now they were able to see two healthy people being apart versus the children of the parents, the children of the parents that actually stayed together in an unhealthy state. Those children were doing much worse off, and they were much more emotionally unstable. So your kids do much better by walking away from a healthy situation. And then also, let me point out, A lot of times when we get into these relationships and even marriages, we have no idea who we are. We have no idea how to choose a mate, and we wanted to get into the relationship for the sake of not being left out or being chosen, and allowing the world to see that, hey, I'm great enough to be chosen, not realizing that what you're signing up for is much bigger than just this one night, than this just one activity, or even for the world. It's much bigger than that. Much more responsibility comes with that, and many people are selfish. Many people are selfish, and we keep this selfish mentality when we should be, I should say, working like a couple. We're in a relationship, but we are behaving like individuals. I'll leave that there. The last and final thing that could be going on with you, Sonya, and why you're deciding to stay, even though you know it's time to go. What is keeping you there is your fear. That is the number one thing that keeps a lot of people stuck, is the fear. Now, what is it, the fear? It could be the fear of judgment, of what others have to say about you and how you're living your life and what you're not doing, and what are the kids going to think and how are that, right? So they're doing all of that. It's the judgment that comes along with it. It's literally just the fear of the unknown. You don't know what's out there. You don't know where to go next. You don't know the first thing to do. You don't know where to file the paperwork. You don't know where to look for an apartment. It's just the fear of unknown. Where am I going to take my kids? Who are going to be with my kids more often? What school are they going to go to? Where am I going to live? Am I have to go back home? Like, there's a whole lot of unknowns that have to be answered, and a lot of people just don't want to deal with them. And then the final fear that popped into my mind is the fear of not finding anyone else to love you again. So it's a whole bunch of fears that come into play when it's time, when you know that you should leave, but you stay. So, Sonya, I hope that this has helped you. And if you're out there on YouTube or on Facebook and you want me to answer your question, do not hesitate to put it down in the comment section below. Or if you are on Facebook, then you have the opportunity to send me a direct message. So send me a DM. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you still want your question to remain anonymous, but you still want to answer, then send me an email. It's down in the description box below, but it is Marshawn@MarshawnOlaniyo.com. I am Marshawn Olaniyo, your favorite shift relationship strategist, where I am helping you to get unstuck from where you're at today so you can create the life and love life that you want to create for tomorrow. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and I will see you in the next Ask Marshawn. Deuces, y'all.